Denton, it's Miss Quinones, and this is our first episode of Cooking with Miss Quinones. Today we're making Zuppa Toscana, which is Tuscan soup. You might have had that at the Olive Garden before. So I don't really follow a recipe because I make this all the time, so I kind of just put in there what I like, but I will post a recipe similar to what I use on the website, on the library page of the school website, dentonmagnet.com. And you can also follow our YouTube channel, Denton's Media Center on YouTube. And now I will post in segments the pictures from me making the soup and all of the ingredients that you'll need to gather for you to make it. And we'll do a step-by-step instruction. You should probably have all of these ingredients at home, but if you don't, just use whatever you have. Substitute whatever you have. And we'll talk about substitutions for things while we're making it. It's important to try to eat healthy while we're at home and not just eat junk food. So you might have a frozen whole chicken in your freezer that you can take out and thaw for this yummy, healthy soup. And I hope to see pictures of the soup that you make, and I'll share those pictures on the website too. So now our whole chicken is thawed. We have it in the pot in a full covered with water, and I'm going to turn the stove on. If Ava will zoom in right here to not all, well, yeah, I'm going to turn it all the way high just to kind of get it going right here. I don't have anything in it yet. It's just water. And while that's getting heated up, I'm going to get all of my other ingredients ready. All right, so now we're back. I have all of my ingredients laid out, so I'll just walk you through that. So the red potatoes, the kale, the sausage, the coconut milk, you'll need that later. So just make sure you have those on hand for when the chicken is done boiling. Right now, we are going to put in here some salt and pepper. I use thyme, rosemary, oregano, and tarragon. These are all Italian seasonings. If you don't have those at hand and you might just have something that says Italian seasoning, that's fine too. It's just a combination of all of those things. And then I like a little spice to mine, so I'll be adding some crushed red pepper. We like garlic, so I'll be putting a lot of minced garlic and some chopped Vidalia onion or whatever onion that you like. So now I'm going to chop the onion and put all of these seasonings in here to season the chicken. I'm also going to add a little bit of chopped celery and carrots to the pot right now too. Okay, now that our soup has just begun to boil, we're going to take it from high and put it on between low and medium. So mine's on like a 2 right now. I am going to cover it with a lid, but I'm not going to seal the lid all of the way. You have to be careful because that water will boil over. You also have to continuously add water to the pot because that water is going to evaporate as it's cooking. Okay, so the chicken is done boiling, and it's time to go ahead and debone that whole chicken. But before I do that, I'm going to take some red potatoes and cube those potatoes and boil those in a separate pot, just because this is already done and potatoes take a long time to boil. So I'm going to go ahead and boil those, and then I'll transfer them into the soup pot. so the chicken is done now, and so now what we have to do is take the whole chicken out of the pot to debone it and discard the bones and put the good chicken back in the pot of soup. This broth right here, bone broth, is actually really good for you. It's good for your gut. You actually have good gut and bad gut. So the more processed food and junk food that you eat contributes to your bad gut, and this healthy, natural eating, in particular bone broth, is good for your good gut. So we're going to do that now. Okay, so I've taken the chicken out of the pot, and now I'm making sure I have all of it. I don't want to have any bones left over in this broth right here. Whenever I have a lot of broth left over from making soup, I like to freeze some of it in individual servings because I use it a lot in my other cooking instead of buying broth from the store. This is better for you. And then you can see right here, this is the chicken. You can see it's already fallen right off the bone, so it's going to be really easy to debone and get all those bones out. And I like to have 2 bowls ready, one for the good chicken, and then I'll put the bones in one to throw them away, and then the good chicken will go back in the pot. So I have deboned all of the chicken. It's all in this yummy pot of broth right here. And in the time it took me to do that, the potatoes were over here cooking on a high boil. So those are now going to be transferred from here into the pot of broth. Not the water that the potatoes are in, but just the potatoes. Now it's time for the sausage. I use Jimmy Dean, the ground sausage. I like the hot variety. So we're going to cook that until it's all the way cooked through, and then we're going to add it to the soup as well. So now the sausage is done cooking, and we will transfer all of the sausage into our pot. So now our chicken is in there, our sausage, our potatoes. Now we just have a couple of more things to add. It's almost ready to eat. And I also want to mention that the stove is just on a very, very low temperature because all of this is really done already now. So now it's time to add the coconut milk. If you don't have coconut milk, you can use milk or what other kind of dairy products you have in your house. I don't do dairy too much, so I like to use this unsweetened whole fat coconut milk to, it's just instead of milk or cream. I'm just going to pour that in there. All right, so now we've got to add some vegetables to our soup. We're going to use kale greens. These are a bag of pre-washed kale greens, and so all you have to do is get them and put them in your soup. You don't want to put them in until, after everything else is done, because they just need to blanch there in the hot water in the hot soup and tenderize. So you just put as much in there as you want. And then let's look and see what we have here. Now that looks yummy, and that is going to be a yummy dinner for the Quinones family tonight. Okay. So now you can taste your soup so that you can add anything you want to it, some more salt, pepper, or any of those seasonings. Just be sure not to double dip. Put some in a little cup or a bowl to taste before you stick that same spoon back in here. Let's not double dip right now.